Hi yogis, today I'm going to talk to you about crows. When you first start working on crow, there are a couple props that can be really helpful. First, blocks, 1 or 2. Using a block under your feet is a great way to get your feet elevated higher off the earth. So it's easier for you to shift into your crow and feet lift up. If you find that getting your feet off of the mat is a challenge, try the block under your feet. You could also place blocks under your shoulders. It looks like this. If your crow is really wobbly and you're having a hard time with your shoulders wanting to fall to the earth and not getting the stability that you want, try 2 blocks under each of your shoulders and you'll get the support you're looking for. Second helpful prop is a strap. You want your strap the length of your shoulders. If it's too tight, you can hurt your shoulders, you can injure yourself. If it's too loose, your elbows are gonna splay apart. The whole point of the strap is to keep your elbows drawing in as opposed to going out wide. When your elbows go wide, you lose your stability. A great way to check the length of your strap is to place the strap above your elbows and come into a plank pose. From there, take a push-up. If you felt your elbows splaying out to the sides, you could probably tighten your strap. If you felt your elbows being pulled in and there wasn't enough room for your shoulders to support your body, as you lower, you should probably take the strap a bit wider. Let's get started today in baby crow. Take your forearms to the mat. Big toes are touching. Take your knees wide. Take your elbows to stack underneath your shoulders. From here, shift yourself forward, lift your hips up, squeeze the back or outside of your triceps, shift forward, lift your feet up, shoulders pressing away from your ears. Lift your belly towards the ceiling. That's baby crow. And coming back to those points that we want to focus on in our crows, my hands were rooted. They're spreading wide. Forearms are staying parallel, rooting this entire space into the foundation that supports my baby crow, into the earth. Hips are lifting towards the sky. Big toes stay touching and draw up towards the ceiling. Gaze is between hands. Shoulders are pressing away. Navel is drawing in towards spine. When I say navel drawing into spine, there is also a pelvic lift. Think about your perineum lifting up towards your heart. That's called Mula Bandha. It's our deepest lock. It's a way to channel your energy. It's also going to help you with that upward lifting sensation. So perineum lifts up towards your abdomen, towards your heart. Mula Bandha, regular crow. Take your hands shoulder width distance apart on the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Your middle finger is pointing towards the top of the mat. Big toes are touching. The bones of the balls of your feet are connected. Heels are lifted off of the mat. You could be standing on a block here as well. Take your knees outside of your triceps. Draw your elbows back. Bring your knees back in. Feel the connection of the inside of your legs to the outside of your triceps. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Look forward about 6 inches or so in front of your hands. Shift into your hands by shifting weight in your feet. Heels lift high. Keep looking forward. Start to draw one heel in, maybe both heels in. Press into your hands. Shift your shoulders back, broad through your chest. Perineum drawing up towards your heart, hips, feet lifted. Crane pose is a lot like crow. However, your arms are straighter and your heels are lifting as high as you can get them. This is a stepping stone into your press handstand. To move towards crane, I will start to lengthen my arms long, draw my heels even more in, press into hands, breathe. Getting into side crow is similar to crow in that your chest is very similar. You still have a good foundation, nice stack in your arms. Make sure before you do any of these poses, you've warmed up. And for side crow, you want to take a couple twists before you get going. So I like to start off like this, heels on top of a block. You can do this without a block as well. Knees are drawing towards one another, thighs are touching. Lengthen the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Breathe here. All right, we'll take the twist. Left elbow attaches outside of your right thigh. Both of your hands come to prayer. Press into your hands to get your knee back in line, to lengthen through the crown of your head and draw your thumbs toward your heart center. This is a great way to prep for your side crow. We'll come back through center and do the other side. Deep breaths. Back through center. Doing some stretching before your side crow is really important. You want to create enough space so that you can shift your torso to get into the foundation of the pose. So to start your side crow, we'll come back to that twist. Left elbow hooks, press, twist. Hands come to the mat, parallel with the edges of your mat. Draw your elbows back toward your side, just like you were coming into a push-up. So both of the elbows are bending back at the same time. Feel this start to lengthen through your left side body, the back side body. Right knee connects to your left tricep. Right elbow draws back toward your right hip. You could even take your hand, point your finger to 2 o'clock to get the elbow to draw back in towards the hip. Lift your heels up, bend your elbows, shift your gaze and your torso towards the right side of your mat. Shift your weight into your elbows. Maybe your left foot floats, maybe both feet float. It can be helpful if it's available to take your right elbow to your right hip, so both of your triceps are supporting your right leg. Broad through your chest. And be sure to try it on the other side. Another option for side crow, it's a little more advanced, is to have both of your hands parallel to the top of your mat. So all 10 fingers, instead of facing to the right side, would face forward. When you move into it this way, your right elbow will be out in space. So make sure that you keep it drawing in as you move into it. And it's the same way to get in, as far as hips will lift, elbows will bend in the line that they're moving towards. So bend back towards the back of the mat in this case. Shift into your left tricep. Right elbow stays drawing in, maybe one foot floats, maybe both feet float. Breathe. And be sure to try that on the other side. So let's try something fun, jumping into crow. The first time a yoga teacher asked me to do this, I thought she was crazy and I thought it wouldn't happen. In the next minute or two, I landed the pose. Come to downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, heels pressed down towards the earth. You can pedal out your feet. Make sure you've warmed up before you do any of this acrobatic work. Okay, inhale, lift your heels high. Exhale, press them towards the mat. Inhale, lift your heels high. Exhale, hop between your hands. And then take it back, down dog. All right, this time, inhale, lift your heels high. Hop between your hands, shins to the mat, tops of feet to the mat. The goal is to try to land slow. So we're gonna take 5 of them. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, hop between hands. All right, this time we're gonna hop forward and land our feet outside of our hands. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, hop outside of pinky edges of your hands. 5 times. All right, we'll give it a go, jumping into crow. Heels lift high, inhale. Exhale, hop forward, land your knees outside of your triceps, bend in your elbows. Whew, that can be tiring for sure. Couple things that will help you when you're jumping into your crow. Bend your elbows before you jump. Keep the elbows moving in. Slight exaggeration of them moving a little more in towards one another is gonna allow the legs to connect. Also, keep your gaze looking forward. And lastly, a shorter down dog stance can be very helpful when it comes to jumping into crow. Okay, this last one is a bit of a bonus. So if you have a tripod practice, I would recommend trying this out. If you don't have a tripod practice, I would say wait until you do, because it can definitely be dangerous if it's not something you're comfortable with. So make sure that you have a solid tripod before you try this next one. We'll start by moving into crow, and from there, we'll shift into our tripod. So crow pose. Look forward, gently start to take the top of your head to the mat. You can stay like this, or you can extend your legs up towards the ceiling. From there, you're going to press into your hands, lift your head up to look slightly forward between your hands, and kick your feet to the back of the mat, low plank. Then maybe upward facing dog, downward facing dog. That's just a fun little transition that I like to do, crow to tripod to vinyasa. I hope this was a helpful video for you, and I'll catch you next time.